These are the Doodle notes for multiplying and dividing fractions. There are 2 pages of Doodle notes, one for multiplying fractions and one for dividing fractions. You need to copy each section on the correct page in the correct spot, and then you can color at the end if you want. This first section is for multiplying fractions. This is the whole Doodle page for multiplying fractions. Make sure when you copy each section it is in the correct spot. This is the definition for multiplying. When you multiply, you are actually adding together groups or sets of numbers. For example, in number 1, it says Tyra walked 2/3 miles 4 days. That means we would add 2/3 mile 4 times, 1 for each day. Or we can multiply 2/3 times 4. Make sure to copy everything down exactly as you see it. This section shows how to multiply using a number line. Each hop on the number line is equal to a group or set of numbers. For example, if Tria walked 2/3 miles 4 days, you can hop 4 times with each time being 2/3. Make sure you copy everything down exactly as you see it. This section shows how to multiply using fraction models. You can color or design each box depending on the numbers. It is not the most common way to multiply, but some students like pictures because they are easier to see. Make sure you copy everything exactly how you see it. This section shows how to multiply using area models. It is also not as common but easy to see. For example, you color 2/3 boxes one way, and then each of those 2/3 you color for another way. Make sure you copy everything down exactly how you see it. This section is just the standard method for multiplying fractions. Always put a whole number over 1 and then multiply across. If both numbers are fractions, just multiply across. Top times top and bottom times bottom. Always simplify if you can. Remember to copy everything exactly how you see it. This set of Doodle notes is for dividing fractions. Make sure you copy everything down exactly as you see it. When you are done, you can color it in if you want. This is the whole Doodle page for dividing fractions. Make sure when you copy each section it is in the correct spot. This section explains what to do when you have a whole number in the problem. Always put the whole number over 1 and turn it into a fraction before you do anything else. Make sure you write everything down exactly as you see it. This section explains how to create a common denominator. Make sure you multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number. Even though this shows it to divide fractions, you will use this more often when adding and subtracting fractions. Make sure you copy everything down exactly as you see it. This section shows how you can use a common denominator to make dividing fractions easier. If you have a common denominator, then you can simply put the first numerator on the top in the answer and the second numerator on the bottom in the answer. Make sure you copy everything down exactly as you see it. This section shows how you can use models to divide fractions. You can color in the first fraction and then circle the second. That gives you the answer, and while Tyhis is not a common way to find the answer, some students like seeing the picture. Make sure you copy everything down exactly as you see it. This next group of notes are the focus notes for both multiplying and dividing fractions. You can copy them down on the back of either Doodle sheet. There are a lot of notes, so you might need both Doodle sheets. That is fine too. Make sure you label each section and draw a line underneath to separate one section from another. Copy everything down exactly as you see it. The audio will not always match what you are writing. It is more of an explanation than word for word. You can stop and rewind or pause to finish notes at any time during this video. The first section is vocabulary. There are 2 slides for vocabulary with 12 words in total. You can split this section into 2 columns with the word and definition on the left and an example on the right, exactly how you see it. Number 1 says division, distributing into equal parts. The fraction bar means to divide. Number 2 says fraction, a number in the form A over B. Both A and B must be whole numbers. This means that a fraction is part of a whole and can be any 2 numbers, one on top and one on bottom, as long as both numbers are whole numbers, so no decimals. Number 3 says numerator, top number in a fraction. Number 4 says denominator, bottom number in a fraction. Number 5 says equivalent fraction, fractions that have the same value. In other words, they are equal, but one is bigger or smaller. To find an equivalent fraction, you can either multiply or divide both the top and bottom numbers by the same number. Number 6 says improper fraction, when the numerator is bigger than the denominator. The value is always more than 1. When you are done copying the vocabulary down, you can go to the next slide and continue to copy without a line to separate them. This is the second slide for vocabulary. You can conjugate it under the first set of words from slide 1. Number 7 says KFC, which can also be known as KCF. I like KFC because it reminds me of chicken and I love chicken. These are the steps when dividing fractions. Keep, change, flip. Number 8 says simplify. Rewrite a fraction into the smallest number possible with the same value. You are basically creating a smaller equivalent fraction. Number 9 says reciprocal, a fraction that is flipped upside down. Opposite. Number 10 says common denominator, a multiple that 2 or more denominators have in common. Number 11 says simplest form, when the numerator and denominator cannot be divided by anything but 1. Number 12 says benchmark fractions, a fraction we can compare other fractions to. Common fractions. These are the most well-known fractions, like 1/2 or 1/4, for example. Once you are done copying this second set of vocabulary, you can put a line underneath to separate this section from the next section. This is the LEQ or Lesson Essential Question. You should be able to answer this question at the end of the unit. When you have labeled and written this down, write a line underneath to separate it from the next section. This is the notes section for multiplying and dividing fraction. If something is written in bold letters, you need to highlight, underline, or circle that word because it is important to remember. This section explains that when multiplying or dividing a fraction by a whole number, you have to always put the whole number over 1 first. This turns it into a fraction. Then to multiply 2 fractions, you just multiply across. Top times top and bottom times bottom. If dividing 2 fractions, you must KFC first. Keep the first fraction as it is written, flip the second fraction upside down, and then change it to a multiplication problem. So, we really never divide fractions. We always either multiply or KFC and then multiply. When you are done writing these notes, write a line underneath to separate this section from the next. This section is step-by-step instructions and examples on dividing fractions. There are 2 sections on step-by-step instructions, but each is different. You do not need to draw a line between them, but need to draw a line after the last one. This section goes through KFC. Keep the first fraction the same as it is, flip the second fraction upside down, and then change from division to multiplication. Then you can just multiply across and simplify. For example, if you have 3/4 divided by 8/9, you keep 3/4 the same, flip 8/9 into 9/8 so the 9 is on top and the 8 is on bottom, then make it multiplication. Then just multiply across and simplify. This section is step-by-step instructions and examples on simplifying fractions. You need to simplify fractions if it is possible every single time. To do that, you first find a number that divides evenly into both the top and the bottom numbers. You cannot have any remainders. Then divide both and rewrite the fraction. For example, if you have the fraction 15/18, you can divide both by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5 and 18 divided by 3 is 6. Then rewrite it as 5/6. Remember your divisibility rules. If both numbers in the fraction are even, you can divide by 2. You can divide by 2 over and over and over until you cannot divide anymore. If you can't divide by 2, try 3 or 5. If both numbers end in 5 or 0, you can divide by 5 or 10. You can always divide more than once by different numbers too, like you see in the example on the bottom. When you are done writing the step-by-step notes, write a line underneath to separate it from the next section. This section is for practicing what you have learned. You can divide this section into 2 columns. The left side is for multiplying fractions and the right side is for dividing fractions. Remember to write everything down and show your work. When you are done, write a line underneath to separate it from the next section. This section is the summary section. Copy down the LEQ and then answer it in complete sentences and use examples if needed. This is the same LEQ from the beginning of the video.